Hi everyone, I'm Steph.
And I'm Lisa.
And together,
we are PD Connect.
Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to teach you about stretching and foam rolling. First off, let's just take a look at all of the things we have around us. I've got this little ball here that can be used in place of a foam roller.
Or a tennis ball.
I also have a foam roller that has all these little notches here. Lisa's got a foam roller with the foam roller pillow. And then she's got a regular pillow here.
I've got a strap.
A strap for stretching.
All of these are not necessary, but kind of nice to have if you want to try to extend your stretching.
Absolutely. And it's true, really these things are up to you. So this may be good for Lisa, but it may not be good for me. So you have to find what works best for you. In the meantime, we're going to show you a couple of practical tips that we'd like you to take a look before you start stretching with us. Great. Thanks for looking at those. Now what we're going to do is Lisa's going to show us how to get down on the ground here safely.
Okay, so we're going to start out by doing some stretches. And really what I had in mind was to think about first thing in the morning when you're just waking up and you're just about to get out of bed. So first of all, let me just show you how I do get down here. I'm going to hold on to the chair. I'm going to get down onto my knees. I'm going to walk my way back. And then I'm going to get onto my hip and lower myself down.
Okay, now that Lisa's on the ground, I'm in the chair, we're going to work on each one of these exercises, and ideally we're trying to hold these exercises from anywhere about 30 to 60 seconds. All right, let's go ahead.
Great. So these stretches are meant for either first thing in the morning when you're still in bed, or ideally if you could get onto the floor, out of bed and onto the floor to do these stretches, that would be ideal. Okay, so first thing is single knee to chest. So basically we're going to start by bringing one knee towards your chest. I've got my fingers clasped here over my knee. If you have knee problems, you can hold behind your knee. My other knee is bent like that. However, if you can tolerate it, you want to stretch out that other leg. That will intensify the stretch. All right, and then we would do the other side. We're not going to do the full 30 to 60 seconds right now, but you just want to show you this is the knee to chest. I'm pulling my knee towards my chest. Next one is the hamstring exercise. So the hamstring are right here behind your leg. And so this time I'm going to pull behind my knee, and I'm going to try to straighten out my knee towards the ceiling as much as possible. I'm trying to straighten it up and pull it towards my head. Again, I can lower down the other leg to intensify as needed. Steph is doing the modification.
I'm modifying here in the chair, same as Lisa. I've got my leg fully extended. I'm really working on straightening out that knee so that I can stretch this hamstring right back here. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides.
For some people, it might be easier to use a strap. I've got a fancy stretch strap, but really all you need are two belts or any kind of a belt or a tie, and then you can just put it around your foot and pull with your hands. I like this position because it allows your shoulders and your neck to remain relaxed. All right, next one is the lumbar rotation. So this one, again, I'm still lying down on my back, and my knees are bent, my arms are down at my side here or out to the side. I'm going to keep my feet on the floor, and then I'm going to just gently let my knees roll over to one side as I keep my shoulders flat on the floor here. I'm just rolling off to one side, feeling a stretch in my side here. For a more advanced stretch, now really be careful if you've had any type of back injury. Please don't do this unless you are quite experienced with stretching. You can bring your legs up into tabletop and then lower your knees off to one side, trying to get those knees all the way down to the floor and then bringing them back up. It's a bit of a core challenge to bring them up, so be careful. Advanced move only.
This is a much more effective rotation while you're on the ground or in the bed. It's very difficult to do in the chair properly. I'm on the edge of my seat and I'm trying to get my legs to move together from one side to the other, but you've got to be really careful.
All right, next one is book openings. I'm going to move over onto my side. Now, rotation is one of the things that's really important for Parkinson's. So imagine that I'm on my side here. My knees are bent, my hips are stacked, my knees are stacked. Got my arms out in front of me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my hand and open it up here and look at my hand as I stretch and I open up. This is very similar to one of the power moves that we've done in one of our other videos. I'm just going to hold the stretch and come back here. And then I would do the other side, of course. So I'm going to rotate all the way, roll all the way over to the other side, and then I'm going to open up this hand and I'm going to look. It's really important to also get that neck involved here by really looking at your hand and allowing the neck to rotate and follow where your hand is. My knees stay stacked. My hips are still stacked. They're not going anywhere. This is all about the upper body.
And in the chair, I'm just using the side of my chair and trying to rotate over to one side, using both hands and then slowly going over to the other side. If you can't get over to grab that chair back behind you, please don't force it. You'll get there eventually.
All right, next thing is the foam roller. So one of the things that happens in Parkinson's is this kind of forward head, forward posture. So we want to work on opening up the chest and opening up that back. One of the ways to do that is with our foam roller. So here is a standard foam roller. They come in all kinds of fancy shapes and colors and sizes nowadays.
Spikes on them.
Spikes or not, but just the general foam roller is perfect for what we want. So the hardest part about about foam rolling is getting on and staying on the foam roller. And how I like to teach it is, let's say I'm up on my knees here. I've got the roller in the center of my, I want to center it, and then I'm going to just sit my butt on the edge of the roller, and then I'm going to slowly use my hands and my elbows to roll myself down. And the most important part is that my head has to be supported by the roller. If I'm too far up and my head drops down, that is terrible for your neck. Please do not do that. So make sure when you start at the very tip of the roller, and then you come back down. Now, I also have this fun little pillow thing that you can buy as an accessory that allows you to have like a little bit of a pillow for those of you that have trouble with your neck. But in my case, I don't need this little pillow thing, so I'm going to take that off. Okay.
I also have these too, so I'm going to modify in the chair. I've got just a little exercise ball or a shorter foam roller that I can use against the chair to help.
Right, so right now, all I'm doing is lying here on the roller, and what it's already doing is it is opening up my chest and giving my spine a bit of a massage. I'm using my legs here to stabilize, and I've got my elbows on the floor. From this position, I can do some snow angels. So I'm going to have my palms facing up, knuckles are on the floor, and I'm just going to slowly raise my arms up until my arms feel like they want to lift off the floor. That's when I come back and I do little small snow angels. For those of you that have really good range of motion, you may be able to go much farther. But for most people, I think we're just going to get to about 90 degrees, and I would do this on both sides here. Next exercise on the roller is the backstroke. So I've got my palms facing each other, and my thumb is going to try to reach above my head and then my pinky is going to reach down by the floor. So I'm alternating my thumb trying to reach above my head and my pinky trying to reach below. So I'm just going up and down like this. Again, mobilizing through my spine and getting a lot of stretching through some of my chest muscles and my back muscles. Okay, now the fun part is rolling off. So pick a side and just gently get ready to roll off to one side.
Well done.
Here I am. Now there are other ways to use the roller, and some of them are for massaging through some of the muscles and the fascia. So one of my favorites is to use this for my IT band. This is a very difficult position to get into, but if you can get there and you can tolerate it, it does wonders for your back and your hips and your walking. So this one, I'm going to start on my side, and I'm going to get this roller underneath kind of the top of my leg, and I'm going to straighten out my bottom leg, and I've got the top leg here to kind of lift myself and control that weight. And then what I do is I roll up and down the side of my leg here. So the leg that's getting massaged is the one that's on the bottom here, and I am feeling it.
Yeah, I bet. I'm using just this little ball here. This one actually does vibrate as well, so it gives more of a massage while you're doing it. And this is really quite nice. I think I'm having a nicer experience than you might be, Lisa.
I'm just going to do this on the other side because I
switching.
don't want to be lopsided.
I'll switch too.
So again, I've got my bottom leg straight. That's the one that's getting rolled out. And my top leg is bent. And I'm controlling how much pressure I put on the roller through my arms and through this leg that's holding me up. Okay, now I can just sit on my butt and I can work on my hamstrings. So again, this is the muscles behind. So it's a little bit tricky, but if you can hold yourself up, I'm lifting my butt up here and I'm trying to massage this out. Some of these moves may be too much for you, so please modify if you have trouble with shoulders or with your back and it's difficult for you to even get into this position. There are many, many ways to stretch your hamstrings.
I'm using this little vibrating ball again. It's not vibrating now. I'm just placing it underneath my hamstring and moving my leg from one side to the other.
Now I'm moving down to my calves. Again, just another demonstration of ways that we can stretch out different parts of our body using some of these different tools.
Can also use this ball on my calves. A lot harder to do when I'm not using body weight directly on it, but you can easily stretch your calves just as we did those hamstrings in the chair as well. But it's really great to get down on that foam roller on the ground.
And do you have your tennis ball? You could
A
use
tennis
any
ball.
of
Yes, I
any
do.
of these could also be done with a tennis ball. In fact, if I could have one of these tennis balls,
Absolutely.
another way to sort of stretch out your back would be to use a little tennis ball and just have it right underneath you, and you can just sort of lie down, move your legs around a little bit while the tennis ball is in place. That can get some sore spots if you have some sore spots. Some people like to have it up underneath your shoulders here, and then you can just hold that in place as you do a little bit of range of motion.
That's tough.
Okay,
Good stuff, Lise.
a little bit of range of motion here. So a number of ways to use these props.
Excellent.
All right, so let's move on to some standing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so getting up off the floor, I'm going to, if I were on my back here, the first thing I want to do is roll onto my side, and then I'm going to push myself up with my elbow and my hands onto my knees here. I'm going to flip over onto all fours. All right, and then I'm going to crawl over towards a chair or some other stable surface and placing my hands on the chair or the stable surface. I might need to take a second here to kind of bring it all together if I've got any lightheadedness or dizziness. Then I'm going to just take my foot and place it forward here. I'm going to hold onto the chair, curl my toes under, and then push myself into standing, walk my feet closer, and then slowly use the chair to get myself back up into standing.
Great job.
Again, giving myself a couple of seconds to let my blood pressure acclimate. Okay, now we can do some stretches in standing. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way.
I'm actually going to get back in the chair and do these in the chair in case, again, you need some modifications in the chair.
All right, so for standing, one of the favorites that we like to do is called the hip flexor stretch. Hip flexors are right in front of your hip here, and they get very tight from sitting, we sit all the time. If you do a lot of walking or hiking or going up and down stairs, these hip flexors can get really tight. So what we want to do is start by having our feet in this ready position, and then we're going to take a big step back. My feet are pointed in the same direction. They are both pointing forward. I'm not having my one foot point out. Both feet or toes are pointing forward. My back leg is straight. Notice the stripe on my pants is straight. My front leg is going to try to bend just a tiny bit. So this is actually like a warrior position in yoga for those of you that have taken yoga and practice yoga. And here I go. I'm just stretching out the front of my hip here.
Feel it.
You can feel it? You
And
should be
modifying
feeling
the
it
shape.
kind of way up here. It's not down so down here. It's way up here. If I want to intensify the stretch, I can raise my arms. I can even rotate to the side a tiny bit. Right? Really important to stretch. And again, look, I've got my hand on the wall if I'm at all nervous about my balance, so I can hold on to a chair or a wall. All right, let me just turn around here and do the other side. So again, I'm going to take a big step back, and my feet are pointing forward. I'm actually, on this side, my calves are kind of tight. I cannot even bring my heel all the way down onto the floor. If I try, it really feels like a stretch. So that's already a good thing too. We do want to stretch your calves, but back leg is straight, front side is a little bit of a bend, nice and upright with my posture. Don't bend over this way. That's not stretching your hip flexor. You want to try to be upright as best that you can. Again, feeling that stretch. Oh, I really feel it on this side. For those of you that have back problems, be careful. Backs and hips are very connected. So sometimes it's the tight hips that cause back problems. So be careful. If you're not stretching your hips properly, you may be overly stretching through your back.
And keep in mind when you're doing this in the chair, I did have to switch sides of the chair. I'm on the edge of my seat on one side. Please be really careful that you don't fall out of your chair.
Okay, next one is side bend. So my feet are nice and straight here. I'm relaxed. I'm standing up nice and tall, and I'm just going to reach down towards the side of my knee, trying to reach like the side of my knee here. Holding that stretch. I should feel it on the opposite side all throughout here. Coming back to the center. And then again, try to slide your hand like you're trying to get your fingers to touch the top of your knee, the side of your knee.
Or like you're reaching down to the ground if you're in the chair.
Yeah.
Hello, by the way.
Again, hello. We're always starting with good posture. So from the side, I don't want to start like this. I want to try to stand up as tall as possible and then go off to the side. Good. And breathe. Okay. One more for the hips and the legs here. Bit of a wider stretch here. Inner thigh stretch. So wide. Some people think wide is like this. See if you can make it really wide. Again, the wall is nearby, or if I want to hold on to a chair, I can have a chair in front of me or next to me. And we're going to go off to the side, keeping my leg nice and straight here, and then bending that one side. So I'm going to feel that stretch in the inside. Again, try to keep that good upright posture. Breathe. We always want to breathe. Good. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the other side. keeping this leg straight, and then the other one is bending slightly. I'm gonna feel that stretch on the inner thigh here, on my inside of the hips there. Good, again, good upright posture. All right, and then let's do
Last
one.
but not least.
Yeah, let's do one for our upper body. So again, we've talked a lot about posture. So what we want to do is, let's start by clasping your hands behind your head, behind your back, if you can. All right. Now this is not enough of a stretch. What we actually want to do from here is bring those shoulders back and lift up the chest. Open up the chest, lift up that chin. See if you can really stretch. You should feel the stretch in the front. So you want to feel that stretch in the front of your chest here. Good. So there's a big difference. Some people think, oh, let me stretch out my back or my chest. I'm just going to put my hands behind my back. Nope, that's not enough. You've got to really squeeze those shoulder blades together and open up that chest. Feel that all throughout the front here. All right.
That felt nice. Thank you for joining us today. Please, please, please drink plenty of water after stretching, and do this all the time. With the foam rolling stuff, you really shouldn't foam roll more than, what would you say, at least about 10 minutes?
Not more than 10 minutes on the roller
of all
combined,
those
yeah, of all the
exercises.
different exercises.
But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.